Hi there, warm welcome. You're watching Times Now's Blueprint Explosive Exclusive, and I'm Meghna Deka. Well, viewers, this evening I want to take you all the way back to your younger days, a moment when you went on your first day to school or to college. The first time you crossed a group of seniors. The first time when they suddenly look up, they spot you, the prey, and then they summon you towards them. You remember that moment? Do you remember that feeling that you get of dread, of trepidation? Right after that, one of my friends, this was in college time, he was asked to make notes for 5 of his seniors. Another one was asked to run barefoot in the corridors. Then there were treats and tricks which were there. But I guess I was one of the luckier ones. Not everyone gets this lucky. You all, in your lifetime, must have experienced some form of ragging or the other. Because over 40% of the students in India have. And that is a reality you cannot take it away from. And this, I'm just talking about the reported cases of ragging. But there are others who get it much worse. In the name of ragging, can one be physically assaulted, mentally tortured? Can one's dignity be allowed to be trampled upon just because of the hierarchy, the so-called hierarchy within a senior school or a college? Under the guise of initiation, can someone be tortured to such an extent that a person takes their own life? Viewers, this has happened. This is the chilling story, but it is real nonetheless. A young student from Kerala faced this horror. The details that I'm going to get for you, it's not easy for me to tell you or even look at these visuals. The details, however, must be told. Not because it is something which is going to make you cringe, but because it's important that we understand the gravity of this problem, the ragging horror. This is a first-year student from a government nursing college in Kerala's Kottayam. He was first forced to strip by his seniors. He was forced to stand naked. He was tortured with dumbbells. The dumbbells which are meant to lift weights, they were tied to his private parts. Take a moment and think about the horror, not just the physical, the mental horror, the torture that this young boy was forced to endure. But it didn't just end there. Some of these visuals are so gruesome that I don't even want to show it to you. We've blurred them out for our viewers because the extent of this brutality is going to make you question mankind itself and humanity itself. This boy, he was stabbed repeatedly with a sharp object. If you zoom into the visuals, you'll see that that sharp object was a compass. Compass out of a geometry box was used to brutalize him. But perhaps it doesn't just end there. The brutality continued. They then forced to apply lotion onto the wounds, to dip in cream into the bleeding wounds of a compass stab. Reportedly, the seniors threatened them with consequences if he or anyone else speaks about it. They were forced to stand by, watch, but they couldn't go and complain. But perhaps what's worse, and I'll ask you to look at these visuals, there are people who were standing there shooting this on their mobile phones. Did anyone intervene? No. This young boy can be heard in the video crying out in pain. But the seniors who were tormenting him were standing there laughing while he cried. The complaint has also stated that the senior students consistently extorted money from the juniors as well. 5 people, of course, have now been arrested. But this has raised many questions. But before we begin the debate, let's first listen in to some of the key stakeholders in this case from Kerala. A father who has to deal with this kind of a brutality which was inflicted upon his son. The police, where do they stand? But also the principal under whose watch this was permitted. Watch this.
It was very inhuman from the part of senior students. Actually, we have taken immediate action regarding this. So immediately we suspended the students from the college and also we given the complaint to the police station, and they have taken immediate action and remanded the students immediately. We will be having anti-ragging squad will be more effectively working and visiting the student. We are planning to have a PTA with the first year batch students and all.
Actually, we have received a complaint regarding the brutal ragging issue, which has taken place 3 months from 3 months, and we lodged a FIR and arrested 5 accused, and the investigation is going on. Now they are remanded to 14 days in the judicial custody, and we are now investigating whether there is any laxity from the part of the authorities.
हमें तो इसके बारे में कुछ पता नहीं है. मैं तो 2 दिन के पहले यहाँ का प्रिंसिपल ने हमें बताया, ऐसे बात आपने देखा, हमने तो देखा नहीं, सुना नहीं. अब उन्हें के लिए कहने लगे भाई ऐसे झगड़ा हुआ था, मार पिटाई हुआ, उनके बाद उन लोग को अरेस्ट कर दिया, पुलिस में रिपोर्ट किया, रिपोर्ट करने के बाद उनको सस्पेंड किया.
आपके बेटे ने कभी आपको बताया नहीं था कि कॉलेज में ऐसा कुछ हो रहा था?
ऐसे हो रहा पता पहले नहीं बताया उसने, ये तो डर मार के पता ही नहीं उसने. अभी तो पता जाने के बाद पता चला भाई ऐसे हो रहा है, वो दुनिया में ऐसे हो रहा है. अभी फिर तो ये केस में आगे पढ़ेंगे, देखेंगे क्या हो रहा है क्या नहीं हो रहा है.
But let's also tell you a bit about what really constitutes ragging as per the UGC, because many say it's just joke and fun and initiation, but it's not that. These guidelines are very clear. Teasing, threatening or handling with rudeness is ragging. Indulging in rowdy or indisciplined activities is also ragging. Asking a student to do something which will cause embarrassment to that student is also ragging. There are several such other points which have been listed, but this is only as per the UGC. This is what the law says. But now students know about the acts that constitute ragging. Nothing really changes in colleges. At the end of it, everyone knows what it is. Well, it seems, looking at the reality of ragging in India, that it is a monster we must now confront. 40% of the university students have faced ragging in India. 2011 to 19, 54 students have killed themselves unable to take the horror which was inflicted on them when they were ragged. So let me go across to our panelists today. Joining us today on the show, we have Gaurav Singhal. He is a national coordinator of the Society Against Violence in Education. We also have Meera Patel, who's joining us, an anti-ragging activist, as well as an advocate of the Supreme Court. Ms. Kaura, I'm going to be coming to you first because it's important for us to understand. How does the law work in cases like this? Everyone seems to know what is ragging. Every college seems to suggest that they have very strict anti-ragging rules and regulations. The laws are there, the rules are there. Why does it keep happening? Is it strict enough?
So the UGC, so I'll answer your question. The UGC regulations provide that whenever a ragging incident is brought to the attention of the head of the institution, they have to report the same within 24 hours and file an FIR regarding it. This is one provision which can help curtail the events of ragging. But what is happening on ground is that the universities are least interested in reporting the incidents. Even in this particular case, which has come to our attention now, the ragging has been going on for the last 2-3 months, that as per the victim's allegation. But the universities did not report it. It was the victim's father who went ahead and who filed a complaint. So college authorities cannot be oblivious to the acts of ragging happening in their institution for 3 months. They can't say that we don't know. So that means there is a lack of vigilance on their part. And second, when it is brought to their attention, they are not reporting it. Because the colleges feel that, it is our reputation which is at stake. If the incident is reported, nobody will take admission in our college. Now, as a matter of fact, Kerala as a state, it has huge number of ragging cases. So in last 2 academic years, there have been 102 ragging cases just from the state of Kerala. Now, this is not a small number. And this Kerala University of Health Sciences, so basically the institute where this ragging incident has occurred, it's affiliated with Kerala University of Health Sciences. And almost 12 incidents of ragging in the last 2 years have been reported from the university. So huge numbers are there. The institute, the authorities, they're not taking sufficient action. They do not act proactively. So the ragging has to be curtailed. There are 3 approaches that need to be taken. There was a Raghavan committee which was constituted pursuant to judgment of Honorable Supreme Court. So there it was suggested that the colleges have to take preventive action, the colleges have to take punitive action, and So the preventive action requires that it is specifically brought to the knowledge of students. They have to give anti-ragging affidavits that, you know, they will not indulge in ragging. There need to be seminars, there need to be conferences organized to bring to the attention of students that ragging is a punishable offense. And if you look at the nature of ragging that has taken place in this particular institution, it's gross. The student's hands and legs are tied.
Yes.
Compass or some sharp object is being used to, you know, poke him. He's groaning in pain. Now, and these students are going to become future nurses, doctors, engineers. Is this the future of a country? I mean, this is a huge monster that we are dealing with right now.
Absolutely. But God of Single, here's the problem. Yes, I agree absolutely. What she said, that there needs to be accountability, especially of the college, but also vigilance. But you know what's worrying me? When I look at the video, there are all these people who are standing there giggling while a person is being tortured. There would be others as well. Perhaps some of them are juniors who are too scared to speak up. Then there are seniors who stood there laughing. We can hear them laugh while the video is being taken, while that victim is crying out in pain and agony. Where are we going wrong as a society? How is that okay? How can anyone stand by and watch a person being tortured? Is what I don't understand, because this is not one case of depravity or one depraved mind that we are talking about. It's some kind of an entire herd of depravity, if we can call it that.
Well, I would say that, I mean, it's a sadistic pleasure, you know, sadistic mindset. You know, people are getting sadistic pleasure in inflicting pain upon others. And we expected that as the societies, as we are improving, as the moral standards are, but we are degrading day by day. Let me give you, and perhaps the non-implementation of various measures by the government authorities is also a reason for that. Let me just, give you one example. Mrs. Meera was, telling, our NGO filed a RTI to the government that how many cases this FIRs are filed by the colleges. Only in 5% cases, you will be shocked, only in 5% of the cases the FIRs are filed in the ragging cases. This is the case, this is the condition. And when these accused or these perpetrators, they are confident that nothing will be done to us, then they inflict so much of brutality on their juniors. So it's not not having a strict implementation of the laws, not dealing these cases strictly is the reason where, and we are dehumanizing our whole generation. It is very rightly said that what kind of doctors and engineers and nurses, and I mean what kind of next generation we are making. You cited a data that from 2009 to for last about 10 years about 54 or 55 deaths were there. Let me give you one data. In last 3 years, 51 deaths have occurred due to ragging as per National Anti-Ragging Helpline. So you can see that number of deaths are increasing day by day in place of decreasing. When there was ragging, one argument is given in favor of ragging by the sadists, that since I was ragged, so it is my birthright to rag others. What kind of fallacious argument this is? मेरी जेब कट गई थी तो मैं दूसरे की जेब काटूंगा. Is this kind of logic here? We are
In fact, I was just thinking about that. That's a very good point that you've raised, Meera Patel. All these seniors, second year, third year, the third year students are perhaps people who did it last year as well and knew that they can get away with it. The second year students who are part of this ragging incident that we are showing the visuals of are people perhaps thinking they did the same thing to us last year. When will this vicious cycle stop, and how will you change the laws and rules to tweak in such a manner that the conflict of interest of a college reporting a case and their direct revenue being dependent on the image of their college are removed?
So, I mean, there needs to be an overhaul of the laws. what had happened in 2009 when, the matter had traveled up to Supreme Court. At that time, the nature of ragging that, we see now and what was there at that time was very different. So ragging was still considered to be, maybe a lesser serious problem, maybe a problem of indiscipline, not so much as an offense at that point of time. They thought it's an indiscipline issue and it is the colleges and, the universities which have to tackle it. Therefore, the way the laws were framed, especially the UGC regulations, it kind of cast the duty upon the head of the institution itself to deal with the issue of ragging, to appoint an anti-ragging committee at the beginning of the academic year. And this anti-ragging committee has to have a host of representation. You need to have people from NGOs and media and, parents, students, like that. Now, at that time, the nature and severity was probably lesser than what we have today. No, we cannot turn a blind eye, to the nature of ragging that's happening today.
Absolutely.
With suicides happening.
Because this, what has happened in Kerala is a wake-up call. Is this the kind of future generation of doctors, of nurses that we are trying to build? Is this the future generation of India that we are trying to build? It's time to wake up, smell the coffee. This is a wake-up call. Make sure that you don't allow ragging. You shouldn't either rag or watch anyone else being ragged. Go to the authorities, go to the police, file an FIR. It's important that culprits, and I'm calling them culprits because these are criminal acts which are being carried out, those who are carrying out these acts cannot be allowed to go unpunished because it sets a bad precedent, and if they've done it once, they're likely to do it again. Unfortunately, we are running out of time. Thank you so much, Gaurav Singhal, for joining us, as well as Meera Kaura Patel. Without a short break.